Hey everyone, Pine Grove News Live, 6 o'clock on the dot. Made it right on time. Well, I hope everyone's doing okay. It is, January 27th, 2020, Monday. I believe it's Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. And let's put this up here. We need to put that up there. Our Fair Use Act, because after all, it's only fair, right? So, I mean, what have you heard? What have you heard, everyone? Need to leave your comments. Need to know what you've heard. We need to get everyone talking. Need to get, information out there, photos out there. What's really going on? America, everyone has a phone. Come on, let's keep each other informed, man. Yeah, I'm going to go check, see if we're live at YouTube, and we apparently are. Well, it's loading. In any case, if you want to go to the live channel, it is Pine Grove News. That's PGN Live. And I think it's because I have a lot of things opened on both computers. Even though I'm hardlined, it's not Wi-Fi today. I try to, make it go wired. It just seems to handle more, not reliant on that, but it's still loading. I don't know why it's still loading. Let's do a refresh, see if that'll work. Yep, it did. All right, so let's put this back up there. I want to make sure everyone saw that. So my notes for today. And anyway, we're here on the East Coast. Y'all should know that. There are plenty of brothers out there and sisters out there that are on the West Coast, just different times. I mean, I can't listen to them live, Marfugal News, either Marfugal News or Marfugal TV, either one. I mean, they're two different channels, same person. What we should be looking at. I want to put this is a video that I'm leaving at the end. Okay, but obviously I'm showing it to you now. It's from this guy. It was given to me over the weekend, like a couple other things, but this event thing, 201, I've never heard anything about it, but this gentleman here, Spiro Skouras, and he'll I hope mentions his name in the video. I want to thank him for putting this out. He talks about this event 201, and you can see the title right there. Did Bill Gates and World Economic Forum predict coronavirus outbreak? An inside look may shock you. Yeah, there was, as we spoke before, there was kind of a mock simulation type thing being spoken of or acted out 3 months prior to the outbreak. And I have other articles up here that, kind of collaborate information. I mean, some of the numbers are not piling up, and we'll just get to it because, and just obviously, like always, use your own discernment. Fox News, the five, they're yelling and screaming out there, global pandemic, doubling every 6 days. Yeah, and we'll talk briefly about also a lot of people's idol. They're idle. What idol have you heard today? Right? All over the news? Of course it's going to be all over the news. There's a lot of people that are crying and are in pain because they lost Kobe Bryant. And we're going to show you something. I'm saving it till the end. It's like a 4-minute clip, video clip, and it's from aplanetruth 3. Now, I believe he has other channels out there too. So I think I will start this video. We're going to play up to this 4-minute, 17-second clip or time frame. It goes on for 18 minutes, 45 seconds. But I think you should at least listen to this first 4 minutes. I've got to go set this up so that you can hear this better. So we'll do that. And then I'll have to come back and readjust. It's something about it. It doesn't like Mixler and YouTube. Anyways, I heard that you'd be able to hear it better on Mixler. And it doesn't make a difference, I believe, on YouTube when it's finally produced. But here we go. Listen to this 4 minutes, 17-second clip. And they'll actually explain what this Event 201 is. So that's why I'm going to play it first.
Today's scenario is going to simulate
Going to find.
Governments need to be willing to do things that are out of their historical perspective, or for the most part, it's really a war footing that we need to be on.
It can happen quickly. A Marshall-type plane, don't mean to say that exactly, but a Marshall plane, they can go into effect, can stimulate a change very quickly.
Yeah, martial law.
Distrust relates to the health system more generally. A step up on the part of the government on enforcement actions against fake news.
I think a couple of things we have to consider are, even before this began,
I'm sorry to keep breaking in, but you heard what he said, right? Enforcement, some kind of enforcement act to limit fake news, they call it. And who determines that? They do.
vaccine movement was very strong, and this is something specifically through social media that has spread.
Welcome to Event 201.
Hi everyone, I'm Spiro, and what you just witnessed were highlights from Event 201, which took place in New York City on October 18th, 2019. Event 201 is a high-level pandemic exercise hosted by the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security in partnership with the World Economic Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, in this report, I will play several clips from Event 201, but I will provide the links below so you can see the pandemic exercise in its entirety, which is nearly 5 hours if you wish to do so. I personally watched every second of it. Now, I believe that this report is directly connected to my recent report on global institutions and governments which are currently pimping the United Nations Climate Agenda program, which seeks to consolidate political and economic power into the hands of the ruling elite. That report is titled The UN and Central Banks, a Rockefeller and Rothschild Coup. And the follow-up to that report, exposing how George Soros is actively bankrolling campaigns to censor content creators on YouTube, which question the legitimacy of man-made climate change, which in my view, based on my research, is nothing more than a false pretext for global regulations, global taxations, consolidation of power and natural resources, in addition to population control and global governance. Now back to Event 201. I find this extremely fascinating because this pandemic simulation exercise of the coronavirus took place about 6 weeks before the first illness from the coronavirus was actually reported in Wuhan, China. Now, that is one hell of a coincidence if you ask me. I'm not sure if you believe in that sort of thing. I have a hard time believing in coincidences. Another fascinating connection is the fact that not only did Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation participate in and help set up the pandemic simulation of the coronavirus outbreak, they also just so happen to fund the group, the very group who owns the patent to the deadly coronavirus and are already working on a vaccine to solve the current crisis. Again, an incredible coincidence, I know. Now, the members of the Emergency Epidemic Board in this simulation consist of representatives from major banks, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Johnson & Johnson, logistical powerhouses, the media, as well as officials from China and Americans' Center for Disease Control, just to name a few. Now, this simulation also includes news reports, which were fabricated just for this exercise. Please keep that in mind because they are eerily similar to reports we are currently seeing regarding the real-world coronavirus outbreak. Now, in the spirit of transparency, I have edited some of the clips only due to time restraints to shorten them. After all, this exercise lasted between 4 and 5 hours, so I condensed as much of the material as I could. Now let's take a quick look at how this simulation began.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anita Cicero, Deputy Director of the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, and today I will be your Master of Ceremonies for Event 201. On behalf of our center and our partners, the World Economic Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the goal of the Event 201 exercise is to illustrate the potential consequences of a pandemic and the kinds of societal and economic challenges it would pose.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave it with that, okay? I'll give you the link like I always do to everything. But I want you to, keep in mind, I was just thinking the Dow was, the stock market was down like 450 points today, okay? You're talking about the economic effects, Basically, the stock market, you know what that is. It's just basically some kind of Ponzi scheme, gambling, whatever. And if you're in that, good luck. I mean, I'm just not going to throw my money away like that anymore. I've gambled before, but in any case, I want to bring you over to, because they were talking about vaccines, Bill and Gates Foundation, and we talked about that before. And I'm trying to find this one where it claims right here, that Russia, this is from End Time Headline, Russia has drugs to treat the coronavirus, but global epidemic possible by March. Yeah, so apparently they already have it. They already have the cure. Excuse me. So it says right here, Russia has about 30 medicines that can treat the dangerous new Chinese coronavirus, according to the country's former chief federal sanitary inspector. In order to reassure everyone, there are about 30 drugs that are available today and are being used, which can work against this virus. So it just goes on to talk about which ones. 12 of them are the ones we also use to treat HIV infections, and so on and so forth. So Russia has this cure, this vaccine, whatever it is. But don't forget that, because Bill and Linda, whatever, Gates, that they have their foot in the door with the patent. So, yeah, I keep hearing from, Northern California that, there's gonna be a universal vaccine if you don't get it. And there's a lot of stuff that will really scare the heck out of you if I put it all in here. Talking about putting it into your bloodstream, and in doing that, they also will put in this chip, this at least a marker of some type. And anyways, about the beast system coming soon to a global theater near you, where you will probably get a mark on your right hand or your forehead to be able to buy or sell. I mean, after all, Revelations does say something like that. So, let's see. Yeah, well, we might as well finish this update on the virus. I mean, there is other news out there. And so I'm going to go through this quick because I know you hear it all the time. People should be paying attention to it. Watch for these updates and watch where it's going. Matthew 24 talks about pestilences and famines that will come. And we've seen a lot of them. I mean, HIV, AIDS, let's see, well, cancer, number one. I mean, so many cancers. These are all pestilences, man. So those things are being fulfilled, and they've been being, they're just getting worse. So we'll go and check out these headlines. This is, I guess, there's one from Michael Snyder, but this is from Investment Watch. Wuhan's hospitals are to capacity. We talked about this on Friday, that they were building a hospital. Apparently they're building 2 of them that supposedly will house, 1,000 beds. But pay attention, because one of these articles will tell you exactly how many hospitals that Wuhan's in this area, how many hospitals they actually have. Okay, and then you got to remember how many people are actually infected or how many people are just sick, and so on and so forth. So there's something to get from all this. There is. It's not just, just pay attention. I know you can easily get distracted because you've all heard this already. So these Wuhan hospitals, we've heard it from innumerable sources, yet there are only 1,700 verified infections. 1,700. Even the one my daughter was talking about this. We were talking about it the other day, about DNA and the CRISPR and all that stuff, and this coronavirus came up, and one of my daughters says that there is coronavirus, she said, in Connecticut. Okay, there is one account, but I think she said that it was not verified. So you got to remember that you got to go look at the verified ones and not just we're testing for it type thing, because that could definitely change the numbers. And remember the symptoms, and we're going to talk about that too. There's another article up there, whether there are symptoms or not, because somebody's talking about you don't know, at least for 10 days, that you have anything. And in those 10 days, you can go and just give it to everybody. There's something very strange about this virus, let alone the fact that, Russia probably sold it to China, and China was in that province or city or whatever you want to call it, Wuhan's, and they have that lab there, that we're studying and or whatever, manipulating this coronavirus. And they have the Ebola there that's there too. And I told you to watch out for the Ebola. And somebody else told me, watch out for the Ebola to come out next. And we have an article about that too. It is coming too. Pay attention. Time for a bit of math. Okay, so see how, whatever. Tonghai Hospital, world-class facility. So he's going to come down here and list some of these hospitals in these areas and the amount of beds they have. Okay, so this hospital has 4,000 beds. Okay, and then we'll just go down, and then Wuhan Asia Heart Hospital, 760. Wuhan Central Hospital, unknown number of beds, but likely to have 2,000 to 4,000. And then you can see all these other hospitals. This one, 2,300 beds, and they're still rushing a new 1,000 bed hospital. We heard about that in the news. Wuhan Infection Hospital, it doesn't say anymore, but these are all the other hospitals. And he hasn't verified how many beds they have available, but there are a lot of hospitals. And they got a need to build 2 more in 6 days. Where are we here? So Western and traditional Chinese medicine combined hospital. So he just continues on with these hospitals. This is just a partial list, believe it or not. Goes down here to say it. Well, I know I missed a lot. I'm sure some are closed anyway. Either way, assuming hospitals really are full and they still build a new one, this list could help me make sense of the magnitude. Okay. With all those hospitals that they do have, and some need to build another one or two in 6 days. Only 1,000-bed facility. It's not really, it's a hospital. It's more like a, what do they call that? Those mobile hospitals. Remember we used to watch that? Oh, it's one of those things that right at the top of your head, man. You can't, MASH units, I guess. Yeah. So here's another one. I think it's the same one. Numbers for the Wuhan coronavirus outbreak just don't add up. This is from Michael Snyder. Let's look at some of the numbers that just don't add up. According to official reports, there are more than 900 confirmed cases of coronavirus around the world. That's around the world. Of those confirmed cases, 26 have died. As of Friday, more than 900 people have been sickened. 26 have died since the start of the month. According to the NBC news analysis of data collected from China's National Health Commission, China's Central Television government-run station, and People's Daily is Communist Party run. So today, it was reported that a healthy, and this is the other thing, because this disease supposedly, goes after people who have a compromised immune system. So we hear this of a 36-year-old healthy man, okay, was among the dead. So up until this point, the deaths had all been people between 48 and 89 with pre-existing health conditions, including cirrhosis, diabetes, high blood pressure, or coronary heart disease. So he had no chronic diseases or other existing health conditions and had been treated with antivirus medication and antibiotics since being admitted to the hospital. But he's dead now. So anyways, that don't add up. So there are numerous cases, suspected cases around the world, and people are being tested across the U.S. and other countries to see if they have coronavirus. But let's continue with this. Yeah, that's just confirming those numbers we just did. That is from, this is the original article. Just don't add up. And so that's, I'm not going to redo that, but CDC amidst rapidly changing situation. Victims seen shaken uncontrollably on hospital beds. Dead bodies seen in halls, or at least it seemed that way. Stocks plunged from fear, and that they did. I don't know if it was from fear or not, but stocks plunged. Yeah, so, and there's been a lot of short video clips supposedly coming from China where people were literally just dropping on the streets, sidewalks. In any case, China, this is from End Time Headlines, China coronavirus spreading with no visible symptoms. With no visible symptoms. This is the thing I heard on, it was a radio station, AM, that for 10 days. So, and the death toll continues to rise, of course. So the death toll's reached 80. Now, we're about 2 days behind because we didn't do the news until since Friday. So this was yesterday. 80 confirmed dead with hundreds of new infections detected. Meanwhile, U.S. public health officials have confirmed new cases of coronavirus in Los Angeles and Arizona, with 24 new deaths reported in Hubei province, the epicenter of the outbreak. The overall death toll from the novel coronavirus in China stands at 80, with nearly 2,800 confirmed. We've already heard that. What else did I want to say about that? What if I have that article about we're actually the government, the U.S. government, is sending their own airliner to pick up their diplomats and other U.S. citizens. God bless, Hen. How you doing? Hope everything's all right, sister. Any coronavirus where you are? Apparently there, well, one suspected in Connecticut. But yeah, we did this on Friday. I mean, there's Texas, what do we say, Illinois, Chicago. In any case, there's a map that I'm also going to leave a link to. And let's see where it is. Yeah, this one right here. Wuhan Coronavirus 2019 and Global Cases by JHU CSSE as of January 27th, 2020, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So this is an update. They said it was, updated an hour ago. I guess this is the total infected, 2,886. Total deaths, okay, one more than what we reported in the articles. And total recovered, 59 of them have recovered. So you don't hear that number. 59 have recovered. So this is obviously, basically China. I'm trying to get somewhere else, but these are the, I'm just looking for Wuhan. You figured it would be in here somewhere, right? But it's everywhere. So look at over here to the far left, right in the middle. It'll tell you how many are infected. Mainland China, 28, 25. Hong Kong, 8. Thailand, 8. And other areas. Australia, 5. Taiwan, 5. US, 5. Japan, 4. Malaysia, 4. Singapore, 4. South Korea, 4. France, 3. Vietnam, 2. Cambodia, 1. Canada, 1. Nepal, 1. So come and get this link, to monitor it if you'd like. And I haven't really studied this thing too much. I don't know what this is here on the right-hand side, given the death totals and the confirmed cases. So we can go, let's see if we can do this. Go back to the U.S. and see if it'll give us the map for the U.S. and show us where they are. Yep, it will. So you got one in Phoenix and Chicago. Looks like one in Jacksonville. Well, all right, hold on, this one. Bear with me. Trying to, stop, will you? Toronto, that's the one in Canada. If you see that up there. Well, let's see if can I back out of this another way? All right, and of course the one that we first heard of, Seattle. So, very good map. Sorry. Oh, man, hold on 1 second. I don't know what's up in this room, man, but really get dried out pretty quick. Okay. It's ice water. Love my ice water. So there you have it. You have that map. We can go just see if it'll change. I don't know. We had 28, 86, 81. We'll see if that'll change. And it has not. It's okay. I'm going to keep checking it, but there will be this tool here for you. So take it, use it. Let's see. Let's get to the last parts of this story. Yeah, this one from Investment Watch. The title, I don't know how they put that out there, but Something about this coronavirus hits 15% so far fatality rate, which is, I don't know, I think it's kind of low. 83% infection rate. Now that's a big number. 83% of where this thing goes, people are going to get this virus and get sick, whatever. You had nothing to worry about, right? If you don't have any compromised immune system or diabetes or, stuff like that, which a lot of people have, man, because of they just put too many chemicals in everything here in the U.S. They allow that stuff. What was that chemical they used? Remember that story a while ago about that sandwich shop, Subway, right? They got in trouble for continuing to use this chemical, which is outlawed everywhere except I guess it was Canada and the U.S. It's kind of like a chemical that it's a preservative. It's like plastic. And they got caught, it was a big story, I don't know, a couple years back, maybe 2 years back. So, stuff like that goes into our systems that the government, the U.S. anyway, will allow. It's just crazy. Yeah, global stocks crash. They didn't really crash. I've seen them go down a heck of a lot more than 450. 450 to me is kind of normal, after, people listening to something and freaking out over it. It's just crazy. So 450 is not that bad. Well, it's bad, but it'll recover. That's that. My problem is that our whole global economic system is based on people's feelings over something that happened during the course of the day or month or whatever. If you could have our whole global economic system, based on emotions, we are in deep doo-doo. Yeah, we are in deep trouble. And it is just about, or at least the elite make it appear that way. But anyway, so, you can go look this over. I'm sure there are other updates out there too and more fascinating stuff. I also wanted to show you, this, just do this one more, just to keep you updated. 56 million supposedly quarantined in China as evidence mounts communist government covering up true death toll and scale epidemic, which could be true. It really could be. I wouldn't put it past them. And what else we got here? All right, well, there's one here that I told you I wanted to show you because that lab in Wuhan province, or whatever you call it, man, that lab there, they were testing, or they were playing around with the coronavirus and the Ebola, okay? And the Ebola. That thing that's still in the Congo, in Africa. But now, this. There are other Congolese, I guess you call them, that tried to get across our southern border a few months back. But this one, Ebola-infected woman crosses America's open border and dies in a U.S. hospital. Human weapons infected with Ebola are being sent into the USA. Don't discount it. I don't think it's that far-fetched. So a lot of people are going around talking right now that this whole coronavirus thing may have just been a, bioweapon, been released. You're talking about these people, okay, in this event 201 that have planned for this. And it's something you really should hear. Maybe I'll just put this thing on the Facebook and allow you to get it there as well. It was given to me by a sister over the weekend, and very interesting. That's all I can say. It's very interesting. I'm going to be listening to it for the third time maybe sometime tonight or tomorrow, because there's information in that you need to know. All right, so anyway, enough talk about this virus that people are freaking out over. You know, the N95 face masks, you know, apparently there's a global shortage now of those masks, you know. I mean, what is it? It's basically only, maybe a week and a half old. And we got all of these N95 masks apparently gone, all bought up. Anyway, I'm just, you know, I have the masks. Actually, I don't have those N95 masks. I have other masks. I went to a, what do you call it? A military surplus site online, and I actually bought the full facial mask and the little canisters for the breathers, and a hose that does something. They're actually World War II vintage gas masks, and it tells you all the stuff that it will filter out. It cost me $12 a piece. I got 2 of them for me and my wife. You know, some people are buying these masks, but this coronavirus is, you know, it can get into your eyes as well. If you haven't got that covered, you need your eyes covered. I don't know. I don't know about your ears, but, you know, any orifices that's going to be exposed, man, I'd be covering them. I'd be wearing earmuffs and a facial mask. But you know what? I'm not really that worried about it. I mean, I'm trusting in God, and because I work in a nursing home. Actually, there's a nursing home, and it's assisted living, you know, and they're you know, I don't know why, but most times these people are going through some kind of cold or flu or something. Need to pray for those elderly folk. Some of these conditions are just horrible, and you know, anyway, that's something we could talk about at another time. That's going on there. But in any case, let's see, what were we talking about? Army surplus, $12. Yeah, I mean, who knows? It may not even work by the time I get it out of the package. I don't know. But those things were, you know, they were durable anyway. And my other hope isn't, you know, I always often refer to Psalms 91, and kind of, you know, once you would go there, you know, read that. Psalms 91. There's a lot of Psalms that will give you the hope and, you know, actually the Holy Spirit will build your faith. But anyways, that's where my hope is. And, you know, it says in there, you know, that when these things come, you know, when people, there will be a time when people will be dying on both sides of you. And you're not to fear these things, because these things are predicted. I don't fear it. I don't fear it at all. If it's my time to go, if the Lord wants me to go, if he thinks he's all done with me, you know, my service, whatever, then I'm done. I know where I'm going afterwards, so I don't worry about those things. I do not. I know some people, they rush out and they call all these places online, try and get these masks, and then they forget about, well, they need to cover their eyes, and, you know, just go get a pair of glasses. Well, that's not going to work. Or a pair of goggles, you know, as long as it's, you know, skin tight and nothing getting in them. I know there's some out there that will do that, but, and then just panic and just go and do that. You know, all of a sudden you got this pandemic and people are rushing around scared to death, stocking up, going, finally buying their 3 days of water or whatever it is, you know, or 3 days of food. I guess if it takes that much for you to go out there and try and prep just to be prepared, And it's okay if you don't have the money. You obviously don't have the money. Sure. The Lord promises he will provide and he will do so. We'll wait till that time comes. Yeah, did you hear this news, man, today? 3 rockets strike the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. Nobody's claiming responsibility yet. But, of course, we're going to blame, guess who? Yeah. So these 3 rockets in Iraq's capital on Sunday. Seemed like everything happened on Sunday. In the first direct hit reported after months of close calls. As thousands kept up anti-government sit-ins across the country, the attack marked a dangerous escalation in the spree of rocket attacks in recent months that have targeted the embassy or Iraqi military bases where American troops are deployed. So none of the attacks have been claimed, but Washington knows, has repeatedly blamed Iran-backed military factions in Iraq. I'm surprised that there's not any type of a system there to shoot them down. Maybe they just got so many of them on every day, they just, kind of like, what was that? Sky is Fallen or Boy Who Cried Wolf. All these rockets that fall, prior to that were missing, not coming on target. And then one day they just hit its mark. Yeah, you can't sit back and do that, man. Lives are at stake. You have to be ready each and every time. I mean, take care of it. Freak storm buries cars in feet of hail in Malaga, Spain. I guess Spain is one of those other places that's infected with this corona too. I think we mentioned Australia. So there's always weather out there, but it's been kind of quiet past couple of days. Normal, I guess. So we covered Russia having that curious. And this is some of the other things. This is just my Fibro, my list of news sites, and this one's from IntelliHub. A lot of news, man. That just how much you get of this before it's just saturation. It's too much. All this stuff. Wuhan medical worker, doctors have estimated 100,000 infected. Yeah, we got 2,886, right? I don't know where they're getting 100 infected. So, yeah, and there are estimates. 5 million potential carriers have left Wuhan. Coronavirus now more transmissible. Yeah, it's too late. They already let a lot of people out. They let a person come back from China to Washington. That's how it got there first. In any case, got to remember a lot of other things that are taking place too. Yeah, so, like Agenda 2030 keeps coming up, reduce the population. Well, it's also put on the Georgia Guidestones, as top of their 10 commandments was to bring the population, or at least have a manageable 500 million population. That's a lot of people being gone. So I don't know what this means. This is from Free Thought Project. Congress now funding controversial geoengineering Plan B to spray particles in the sky to cool the earth. Well, at least they're coming out now and just putting it plain out there, to see what we're going to say about it. Or how about we just say, stop it? That's it, no more. I'm just saying, man, if all the people just got together, and not even all of them, if just probably a third of them got together. We're just talking, U.S. 300 and I think it was 25 million. My daughter told me the other day. Just a third of that, 100+ million people speaking out, protesting, stop your spraying, stop your chemicals in our food, and on and on and on. I mean, let's just march into the Washington Mall. Let's go up to the White House. Stop the spraying. It's crimes against humanity. I don't care how you put it. These are crimes against humanity. These chemicals. And Will Watching was talking to me about, oh yeah, they're going to come out with some kind of universal vaccines, That's what they want, global domination. And if they did that, which I probably, no doubt they're already doing. We've all heard of some chemicals, a list of them that were out there. But I've also found something else out too. Who was it from? Jane something. Something about the fillings in our teeth. Apparently have some type of mercury in them. They're not all 100% pure. And so this particular person, went in there and had these fillings removed and had something else put in. It could get expensive, but these fillings, people, along with the fluoride treatments the dentist's been giving you, suggested, fluoride treatments, the stuff they put in the water to poison you with. Dental, society, maybe they had no inclination. Well, they should have, if some, I'm sure somebody knew. Anyways, this mercury is really, really bad for your brain. Go Google mercury poisoning. I've seen a lot of videos. I've read a lot of studies, this mercury stuff, and it's a good thing. They took it out of our thermostats. I guess it was in tuna fish for a while. This stuff it makes you stupid. It really does. It affects your brain cells. It kills them. Seen what it did to brain cells. Anyways, something you might want to pray on, to have that stop, the effects of it anyway. Just like you pray over your food every meal, right? Because those are all poisoned and saturated with chemicals, depending on what you eat. In this day and age, with all the families, 2-income household, and always running on the run, trying to do this, trying to do that, because that's what government wants. We're just too busy to go and, find all these foods. And what food is safe these days? What do you call that? Natural food, organic food. Well, folks, if they're spraying this stuff in the air, it eventually comes down to the ground. And if you're growing stuff in the ground, then it's poisoned. It's tainted. So anyways, Puerto Rico is still having problems with these earthquakes, man. I know somebody who said that they're not going back. I talked to somebody at my job there are a couple women, I'd say a few then, that are from Puerto Rico and came during the hurricane after what it did there. And they're not going back, not with all these earthquakes going on. I don't think they want anybody in Puerto Rico. There's some secret military facility somewhere out there. If you noticed during that hurricane. Anyways, that's just speculation on my part. I can't prove it. So maybe somebody else can, just haven't found the information yet. But Puerto Rico is waking up. What else we got here? We're down to the last article. Oh yeah, you must have heard this one. Vanna White, right? You heard that one? Trump's spiritual advisor under fire for calling all satanic pregnancies to miscarry. Seriously? We don't pray. We pray for our enemies, but we don't pray for them to lose their lives. We don't pray harmful things on them. That's not how it goes. It's really not. So, any case, man, I don't listen to this person anyway. Will not. Yeah, so Florida pastor, longtime spiritual advisor to President Trump, says she was speaking in a metaphor when she recently prayed in a sermon for all satanic pregnancies to end in miscarriage. That video all the way back to January 5th sermon. Anyways. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Just briefly. Doesn't really matter. Kobe Bryant, 18-year all-time pro, I don't know, something, awards. He's one of the best basketball players, if not the best, besides Michael Jordan, ever played the game. And he was still young enough, he still could have played for a while. 41, I guess he was, right? And actually, this is a plain truth for you, even though I selected up here, plain truth 3. But in any case, apparently, and I'm just going to put it out there for a second. I'm not going to, this cartoon, okay, is obviously a crashed aircraft or helicopter with Kobe Bryant coming out of it, holding 2 awards in his hands, and these people are saying, Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bryant. Apparently this was on a Simpsons episode. Of course, I haven't found that yet, but it was on this. According to them, it dated back 12/28/2017, 2 years ago. Kind of ironic, or kind of, well, what did the guy say in the beginning? He don't believe in coincidences.
And it's another cartoon prediction.
Anyway, Kobe Bryant. Well, that's it, folks. That's all I got. I do have to say that I guess one of my sons saved it, have a Kobe Bryant rookie basketball card that is in a case, sealed up. It's in mint condition. I went looking for that a couple months ago and found out that it could be worth thousands of dollars. But it may be worth even more now. You know how it goes with artists, right? They don't get. You hear mostly about starving artists because they don't really make the money while they're making the paintings. It's hard living. Well, when they're dead, those things are worth a lot more. Go figure. I don't understand it either, but that's how it works. That's how it works. Anyway, it's Monday. We're just started, so see you midweek, everyone. See you on Wednesday, Lord willing, and hopefully we'll have some good news about this coronavirus. And we'll just pray for that, right? God bless everyone, and again, see you on Wednesday. Peace out.